fast. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. If you've never been on a stream with me before, my name is Deshaun. I'm publicly known as Deshaun, the Auto Advisor. Everyone, if you are new here, type a number 1. What's up, Mr. Randy? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Dana? Anyone who is brand new here, you've never been on a car shopping stream with us before, you're not quite familiar, you might be familiar with what we do, type a 1 in the chat. I want to give you guys a welcome. All the new people. What's up, D? What's up, D? Miss BNN. What's going on, RCH? What's going on, Sweet Rescuer? Let me jump on Instagram. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Let me jump over to Instagram so I can make sure that I am seeing my people over here. What's up, Miss BNN? Welcome, new people. MDC, I see you. GTO. Is that the GTO Pontiac? Are you a car guy? Let me know. What you got GTO in your name? Everybody who is new, type of number 1. Jingle, welcome. Daniel, welcome. Scott Biggs, welcome. Anthony Byron, welcome. Welcome. Let's go. I like to know the new people. Now, if you've been here before, I want you to type welcome. Type welcome if you've been here before. If you're familiar with what we do here is we are the place to make sure you get the best deal on cars, new cars, used cars, leases, does not matter. That is what we do here. Welcome. So when you guys see the welcome from the people, that's the regulars. These are the people who tap in. What's up? Good to see you, Epic. Good to see you, Kenneth Newby. Good to see you, Mr. GG. When you see the welcome, this is our community welcoming you here. What we do here is very unique. If you tap in, we'll be on for about an hour. You can get your questions answered about car shopping. I spent 14 years in the car business, working for Mercedes-Benz, General Motors. I ran a brokerage for 4 years. And now what I do is educate you guys, give you the tools, the strategies, the step-by-steps to make sure you are never overpaying for cars. You need to be getting the best deal in the market. And that is going to be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 less than the average people are paying, depending on what car you're getting. So start typing your questions. And as you get the questions, I have Dolan, our man, moderating in the background. He's going to be bringing your questions onto the chat. Doesn't matter whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. Type your questions, and we'll bring them all onto the show, okay? We have 2 things that we give you for the step-by-steps. Depends on if you're a do-it-yourself person. Everything we'll be talking about and everything you'll need to pay less than everyone else for cars is inside my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Now, that book's normally $97. It's a digital book, but it's part of our welcome offer. You can get your copy for 75% off. It'll be $24, but it's only for 30 minutes. That's our welcome offer. You go to our TikTok bio, our Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, click that link. That's for you do-it-yourself people. You say, Deshaun, give me the plan, give me everything, and I'm going to follow it to the T. Go grab your copy and come on back. For those of you who are more of a do-it-with-you, Deshaun, I want to work with you together, then you can click the link, those same links, and you can click Done With You, see if you qualify for us to shop together. And then, you'll I don't care how you get it. Even if you ask your questions, let's get to it. And then, if you can piece it together and I can give you the answer you need right now, then you don't need the book and you don't need the coaching program and you don't need nothing. So I just want to make sure you have the tools you need to go out here in this market and win and pay less than everyone else is paying. All right, Dolan, let's get to the first question. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as possible. We're going to be fast but thorough. All right, 70 GTO, the Judge Ram. Own it for 40. Okay, that's a classic. When I saw GTO in your name, I said, people don't put GTO in their name unless they're a car person. Like, that's the Pontiac GTO for those of you who don't know. I worked for Pontiac, that's where I started my career. So I remember the last body style of the GTO. And when we lost Pontiac during the Great Recession, it was a sad day. And then they just came out with the Pontiac G8. That was doing pretty good. So shout out to you. That's a very nice car. Go ahead, Dolan. Let's go. Everybody ask your questions. We're going to go. I'm going to do rapid fire Q&A today. Let's go. It's 2025. It's money on the table. Let's get to it. Why is it so hard to get a dealership to give you a cash discount? You're talking to the wrong dealerships. You got to understand something. 8 out of 10 dealerships are going to lie to you. If you accept that, that'll give you what you need to move accordingly. If you are shopping for a Nissan, for example, 10 Nissan dealers in your area, let's say within 45 miles of you or 45 minutes of you, 8 of them on average are going to lie. They're going to make it difficult. They're going to try to tell you you can't buy online. That's what they're there to do. But if you get 5 offers, which is what we always recommend, you will find the honest dealers. You will find the dealers who want to beat their competition, and that is what it takes. That's why we do this from home. Now, you can call around if you want to call, ask for sales managers and try to get those offers manually, do it. We have an entire system. When we do it, it's email. New cars and used cars, all we do is email back and forth. We talk to multiple dealers, and then we get to the honest dealers. But you must understand, never make a decision on a car based on what one dealer tells you. That's what people tend to do. Oh, I went in Nissan, they're expensive. No, Nissan of Bay Ridge is expensive. Nissan of Fort Lee is expensive. But when you get out there and you start to see the entire market, which is why we do this from home. That's why our entire system is called Cars from Home. You start to understand, oh, it's not that all Nissan dealers are lying to me. It's just these guys are lying. And that's what you need to empower yourself and to guarantee that you've paid less than everyone else. Okay? Go ahead. You're working with the wrong dealerships. Numbers. This is a numbers game. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Should I get maintenance included in my lease deal or pay as you go? This is a great question. This depends. He asks, should I get maintenance in my lease deal or pay as I go? This depends on the cost. Is there a savings? For example, when I worked for Mercedes, we had maintenance on a Mercedes was literally over a course of a 3-year lease. If you did it with the dealership, it could cost you $1,100 to $1,300. Now, the prepaid maintenance program was an $800 offer at the time. And so there was a savings there of, call it 20, 25, 30%. Now, for those of you who are leasing, this is very important to realize that when you put the maintenance program into the lease, it would residualize. That just means that you're not paying for the whole thing. So you added the maintenance program to your, it might have only cost you $15 or $18 more per month. And it came out to be like, whatever, $600. But the question between, and this is the same thing with extended warranties. Who wants to know about extended warranties? Deshaun, should we get extended warranties? Type a 1 if that's been a question in your mind. This is the same principles. How expensive is it if I pay out of pocket? What's my risk? Because these are nothing more than insurance policies. All right. So we got to realize I need to make the money back that I spent on the plan. If it's going to cost me the same amount, then there's no point in me not paying out of pocket. If I'm going to pay $1,500, then I'd rather pay it out of pocket. It needs to be a savings. And most times with the, if you add up what the oil changes and the tire rotations would be, and then you look at, all right, how much you're charging me for the maintenance, that'll easily help you make a decision. It needs to be at least a saving, a 30% savings to make it, to make it worth it to lay out the money. Okay? I hope that answered your question. Go ahead, Dolan. Let's go, y'all. What's up, Saucy Slingers, Liz Galvez? Shout out to the people on TikTok checking in. Shay, what's going on? Jose Reyes. Just got my chapter. Keep asking your questions. We are going to try to get through as many as we can. I'm trying to do rapid fire, but I still want to make it thorough. And shout out to everybody sharing. We appreciate you. Just got my Chapter 7 bankruptcy discharge last month. What do you suggest the best way to buy a car? If you need, first of all, if you could wait, get your credit score up to a 680, 700. I've seen people do this out of a bankruptcy very quickly, very quickly. If you are purposeful, I always tell you guys, follow Shonda Martin, Road to 750 plus. Some of you probably follow Shonda. She's a great resource in terms of credit. She's just like me, but all she does is credit. She'll do Q&As. She's been in the industry. She knows the ins and outs. She knows the stuff we don't know. If you follow her, she can help you get to a 700 score quickly with some things you could do immediately, especially out of a bankruptcy. You have a blank canvas. But I would wait, if you can, until you are in that 680, 700 category, because that's going to help you qualify for a lot better programs and move in a lot better way. Now, if you can't, then I would tell you to get an inexpensive car, point A to point B. Don't make a long-term decision and your credit's going to be great next year. It'd be a shame to make a long-term decision right now and you're going to pay high interest. You go out, you get a $20,000 car, 20% interest rate, 5-6 year loan, and a year from now, your credit's going to be better. And then you would have been able to lay out a whole different deal. So I would tell you, get an inexpensive car, point A to point B, get your credit up, and then make a power move. So are you willing to you got to be willing to sacrifice so that you can make a power move later. People are not going to understand. Oh man, you're driving that old car. You could afford, why don't you treat yourself? You could afford a better car than that. They don't realize I'm operating with a plan. And then when you pull up, because some of the rule we teach is you shouldn't be buying cars if you're not keeping them 8 years. I'm going to show you some people in these lease deals. And first of all, the discounts we're still getting are incredible. But some of these lease deals are just getting, and like, we're driving cars for cents on the dollar. So if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should be leasing. You might not qualify for a lease right now. So you might say, all right, get me an inexpensive car, Facebook Marketplace, get me from point A to point B. And then a year from now, you got a 700 credit score. You pull out in a 2026 brand new lease, paying cents on the dollar. So it depends on you. I don't give people the exact strategies because I give you the options. I give you, based on your goals, these are your options. You pick the best one. Okay, if you want to ask a follow-up question, go ahead. All right, great question. Let's go. Keep it going. Let's go. Hold on. Let me see here. I want to be able to see. Hold on 1 second, Dola. I just want to be able to see everybody on Facebook, Instagram. I can't see you guys on Facebook, but on Instagram, but I want to be able to see you guys on Facebook. Hold on. My truck got repo. How can I get it off my credit? That's a question for Shonda. I don't do credit, y'all. I'm gonna tell you why. Credit is its own expertise. See, if people didn't do cars, a lot of you wouldn't be in trouble. A lot of you wouldn't have bad information about leasing. But because people start thinking, well, I teach people about investing in stocks and mutual funds, you know what? I think I can teach people about cars, and they're leading you astray. They're giving you horrible advice because they don't actually understand the multiple ways to acquire a car. That's why I stay in my lane. I wish they would stay in their lane. Shonda teaches credit. Road to 750 plus. That's a question. Getting something off your credit, that's a question for a credit specialist. Okay? Go follow Shonda and go and implement what she teaches. It's Shonda Martin, DJ King. Shonda Martin. She's all over. She's on every platform. And you can type in Road to 750 plus. I'm sure there's some people on here that could co-sign how great Shonda is as a resource. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. Okay, what is your opinion is the best large SUV in 2018 and up range to buy? There's a lot of them. We're not giving ourselves enough time to shop and consider what we want. If I was looking for a pre-owned car, I'm going to look at a car, find something on the road that I like. I'm going to look at competitors, and then I'm going to just do our system is a 7-step shopping system. 7 steps. First step is the most important question. How many years are you keeping the car? That's going to help you determine should I buy or lease it. Second step is equity assessment. So we don't trade cars here. That's a curse word. We sell our cars on the market to cash buyers, big companies, Driveway, Vroom out of business, Carvana, a local dealer. We have 6. Anybody wants to know how do we do this equity assessment to not trade our cars? You could ask that question, but that's step 2. Step 3 is where we structure our deal and we budget based on a deal. How much would a good lease deal be on this car? How much can I actually spend on this next vehicle, including my taxes and fees, so I don't get surprised when I budgeted $500 a month or when I budgeted $30,000, but I forgot, the taxes and the fees and all of that. So we do this. We have a very simple calculator in my book and in our course where we give you this stuff. These are tools we created. And then step 4 is very important. It's called shopping, not buying. That's the step we're not spending enough time on. Looking at the market. There's 40 some odd manufacturers out here. They're making better technology, or they're trying to make better cars, better technology, nicer looking vehicles. We deserve to look at them. You're about to spend 5 figures, most of you, on a vehicle. You should be looking at the market, seeing what everyone's trying to sell me. And so I would pick a vehicle and then come up with some competitors. But in step 4, what we do is, it's very important. This is where you will get in trouble if you don't do this. It takes 5 minutes. You're going to, every vehicle you're looking at, go to Google, and you are going to type in the year, make, and model, longevity. What that's going to do is show you what the data says about this vehicle in the long run. Is it known for having transmission problems? Who's got a vehicle and then not even a year later transmission went out? Can we be honest? Can we type me if we're being honest? Who's got a vehicle and transmission went out in a year, or engine went out in a year, or the head gasket blew within a year? Okay? Listen. Nobody on here, I'm sure. So when we what we want to do is look at the data, because the data will tell us this vehicle is known for transmission problems at 80, 90,000 miles. And then if you're looking at a used one and it has 75,000 miles, you could pretty much assume, all right, there's a chance that we're going to have some transmission issues with this vehicle. We need to look at the data. That's going to, thank you, OW. They see, I appreciate it. It's always one. He said, listen, I'm going to be honest. Nobody else is going to say, I had a problem, Deshaun. I bought a car and the transmission went out on me. This is what we can avoid in most cases, because what we're doing is we're checking the DNA of the vehicle. Some of you, it's not a problem of you getting vehicles that it's 2 ways we make sure we avoid these problems. First is we're going to check the DNA. That means we're going to do that longevity search in Google. We're going to see, is this vehicle just made poorly? The transmission's made poorly. It's going to go out. We need to make sure the second way we avoid it is to do our quality checks. This is very important. Those of you who are buying a used car, type the letter U. If your next car will be a used car, type the letter U. This is very important, what I'm about to tell you. And some of you may have a notepad and you're remembering this. Thank you, Keith Miller. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate you. DJ King. Okay. This is very important. 3 things we're going to check to make sure we're getting a quality used car. The first is going to be the title. What is the quality of the title? What does that mean? I need the Carfax. I need to see, was this vehicle a rental? Is it a salvage title? Was this vehicle rebuilt? Does this vehicle have frame damage? These are the quality of the title. Thanks, Mr. Randy. Shout out to the sharers. Appreciate y'all. This is what we're checking first. This is our first line of defense, the title. We don't wait. People say, well, Deshaun, would you get a rental? Well, it's not going to be weighed evenly like other better title histories. So it's not that I'm against rentals, but there's levels to this, as they say. So first thing is the title. Now, once you're looking at the vehicle and you're like, okay, good title, now we have to move to service. This is going to help you eliminate most vehicles, because most vehicles do not have the service records to indicate to you, this is something I want to put my money in. When you look at a vehicle, you should see service, 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 maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. If you don't see that, do not buy that vehicle. I can't tell you what to do because you're an adult. We never buy those vehicles. I'm talking to you about the Cars from Home system. These are boundaries we operate in to make sure we're not getting in trouble. Service records are the biggest indicator of how well the vehicle was taken care of. Everybody's following this, type dollar signs. If you're following this, type dollar signs. And then I'm going to go into the last step. 3 lines of defense. First is the title history. Second is the service records. Third, before I move on, type dollar signs. Let me know we're following this. Okay, Mr. Randy, I see you. DJ Ken, I see you. 1% money, I see you. Okay. Third thing is the accident history. 3 things. Now, all accidents aren't created equal. You might see some vehicles that have minor accidents. You'll see some vehicles that say vehicle was drivable. When you see vehicle was drivable, that means that it, could have been a fender been in a shopping parking lot. Police was called. Good to see you, Daricus, my man. Good to see you always. When you see that, that could have been, that means that there was a collision, but the vehicle drove away from the scene. So that might be a deal breaker for some of you. That could be a deal breaker for me. It depends. But we need to weigh it evenly. That's different than vehicle towed. When you see vehicle towed, that means not only was there an accident, that vehicle was towed away after the accident. Airbags deployed, that's usually going to lead to a total loss. But these are things that you want to look at. So quality of the title first, service record second, accident history third. That's how we are avoiding problem vehicles. And you do that in combination with the Google search that I told you to do, where we're typing in the year, make, and model of every vehicle. If I'm looking at a 2017 Kia Optima, I'm typing in 2017 Kia Optima longevity. And here's the second search, 2017 Kia Optima reliability. Because reliability is going to tell us what the data says the first 3 years. What are owners saying about the vehicle the first 3 years? And you just skim those pages, skim those articles, look for any red flags, look for any, hey, this vehicle is rated lower than average reliability. This vehicle is rated, to have electric problems. These are the things that help us avoid what I used to see all when I was at Mercedes. We had a Range Rover dealer we had a Range Rover dealer next door. And people was, getting these brand new Range Rovers, and every 90 days, 4 months, they were in the shop. Every 90 days. And if they just did these simple things, these things take 5-10 minutes to do, they would have known, okay, I'm not getting this Range Rover. The data does. But you know who they were asking? Their neighbors. Hey, how you like that Range Rover, Mark? Oh, man, I love it. You should go get one. That's what they're asking. We cannot ask our neighbors. We ask the data. All right, great question. Keith Miller, let's go. Go ahead to the next one, Dolan. JR4L, let's go. It's 2025. By the way, all of you who are like, Deshaun, this is a lot of information so far. Listen, I'm not going to remember this. Everything that I'm teaching on this stream is out of my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can Google it. It's 5-star rated. Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to rate it and send me your stories. That's the entire blueprint for how we get below market deals, leases, new cars, used cars, and we have a welcome offer. It's normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get your book for 75% off. That'll be $24. Head to my TikTok bio, our Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, but it's only for 30 minutes. Once it's 30 minutes expires, it's the normal price, and it's worth every penny. That book will save you more. Listen, let me just give you an idea of the deals. When you look at a person who say they're getting deals, look, this is Jen. Now, some of you remember Jen because I've talked about Jen before, but the difference is this is her second deal. So once you learn this system of how to shop from home and be empowered, it just gets easier and easier and easier. So this is Jen's second deal. Look, she said, I graduated again. This time she got a used vehicle, 2021 Kia Forte. Original MSRP was $24,485. She got it for $17 out the door. So she probably ended up paying like $15 for it because $17 was out the door with taxes and everything. She's grateful for this program. Helped me navigate another deal. Start to finish on this deal was 3 days. Thank you, Jen. This is the empowerment I want for you. The confidence. I don't care if you're a woman, you're a single mom, you're an introvert, you're a grandmother. If you can use a computer, you can do the Cars from Home system, and you can come out of this programming that they have everybody doing with oh, I need a car. Let me just go right into the dealership, into the den of lions, and try to negotiate a deal. That's just not. You're not going to get a below market deal that way, and you're not going to have an empowered process. What do I mean by that? A guarantee that you got the best deal in the market. So that's what Cars from Home will teach you. For those of you who are like, Deshaun, I'm more of a do it with you. The way we could do this together, that's our Cars from Home Done With You program. You can click the link in our bios and in the comments, see if you qualify for that. If you do, then I love to shop with you. We can do this together. We have, when you see people who are posting these pictures and everything. They're in our groups. And, you know, we do coaching calls twice a month. But again, get in where you fit in. Let's keep the questions going. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot that next one out. All right, let me take a sip of water. Let's go. Chemo Thomas, good to see you. Jeremiah, shout out to the people checking in on TikTok. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So, but I can see people on TikTok. I gotta get away. Dolan, we gotta figure this out. I need to be able to see the people on Facebook and Instagram. I wanna be shouting them out too. We use another device on TikTok. That's why I can see everybody. Clinton Harmon, I can see Armando, I can see Chemo, I can see Bo. Don't think I wouldn't be shouting y'all out too. Now, if you ask a question, then of course Dolan will bring you up and you know you get your questions answered. What do you think about an aftermarket warranty at CarMax versus the manufacturer? So an aftermarket warranty, the person asked, what do we think about aftermarket warranties on CarMax versus the manufacturer? So CarMax, when you hear any dealer say we have a warranty, it is limited. Be it CarMax, AutoNation, what that is giving you is if you deal with us, we can support the warranty. As long as there is a dealership that we own or a location we own nearby, you're good. It's not like you have a Honda, your warranty is good anywhere in the USA. You could be in California, Oklahoma, Florida. Find the Honda dealer, you're covered because Honda USA is covering it. So we got to weigh those two things differently. If we're buying locally or we're buying from somewhere where we know there's a, you know, some of these places, let's say CarMax says, okay, we'll give you the CarMax warranty for $1,500 and that'll cover such and such. First things first, here's the biggest thing. Write this down. Find out what's covered. That's the big thing. You know what the next big thing is? What's not covered. Because who's had an example? And listen, we're an honest community here. The people who look, it might sound like, dag, man, it seemed like when I get on this stream, Deshaun, I'm like, I'm doing everything wrong. Yes, that's true. Because you haven't been on the inside. I've been a car dealer, a car salesman. I've had my own brokerage. I've been in the industry since 2006. So the way I'm talking is to make you an insider. It's corporate greed, and I'm giving you the things you need so that you can see the smoke and mirrors now. So it's going to sound like, oh man, I'm doing everything wrong. But the empowerment is now we know what not to do. Now we know what not to do. So who's had an example of buying a warranty and then going to use the warranty and finding out that what they wanted to use it for was not covered? Type ouch. Type of ouch. You know what the pastors say, if you can't say amen, say ouch. This is why when we get these warranties, we have to ask clearly what is covered. I see you. It's no username, it's just a bunch of numbers, but I see you. Thanks for being honest. We want to ask what's covered, what's not covered. So if CarMax is offering you a warranty, we need to know what's covered, what's not covered. Now, if your vehicle is still under manufacturer's warranty, which means every new vehicle that comes in and is sold in this country comes with a manufacturer's warranty. While that vehicle is actually under manufacturer's warranty, it is less expensive to extend it because it's already covered. Once the manufacturer warranty runs out, it now gets more expensive. So if that vehicle still has a manufacturer's warranty, you could call a local dealership and find out how much would it cost to add the warranty. And then you could compare that to the CarMax price, and you can compare that to what's covered. But I would be very leery to get a warranty unless you know for a fact that you're going to use it, which means, pay attention, it's very important. Vehicles that have a high likelihood of things going wrong or breaking, and then they're expensive to fix, these are the vehicles you really want warranties on. You don't listen. Hondas, Toyotas historically have been inexpensive to fix, but even now they're getting more computerized. You want to make sure that the cost of the warranty is going to be something that you get money out of. I'm not going to pay $3,000 for a warranty when, let's say, if two things break on the car, it might only cost me $2,000. Now I done lost. You have to, when you get a warranty, it's like, I know that if one thing breaks on this car, that could cover the whole warranty. These are Mercedes. These are your BMWs. These are Cadillac. Vehicles that have the parts are expensive. The labor is expensive. These are vehicles that you really don't want to be without a warranty. You want to buy as much warranty as you can. Okay? I have a guide on how I teach you this in the book. This is in step 6 when we get to paperwork and protection. Because it's a shame to get a great deal and then turn around and you didn't cover it the right way and then you're exposed. Okay, so, but that's how I would weigh it out. Go ahead. Great question. Keep it going, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. Type your questions. We'll get to as many as we can. Can a person still lease a new car after a bankruptcy, or will I be stuck with pre-owned? Listen, I would tell you what I like to see and what most banks like to see is high sixes, 680, 670. I like to see people get at least there because that gets you out of the manipulation zone, I call it. The manipulation zone is, oh, we got you approved, but you're not tier 1. You know, you're tier 3, you're tier 6, and then, you know, they can manipulate that payment. And we have ways to protect against that. That's why we always have multiple offers. So, give you an example. I got an Infinity. I leased an Infinity truck. November, middle of November, my wife's birthday. So when I leased that, I got it for $1,200 out of pocket, $499 a month. It's a $54,000 vehicle. So now, when I went there, they used one of my scores, which was Equifax, and it was right under 7, and they still tried to play me. And they said, "Hey, you know, we didn't get you approved tier 1." I said, okay, first of all, this is something we always do online. Sometimes I break my own rules and I pay the price. Again, the rules that we create are no respect of persons. They don't care that it's the shit. I would normally never leave my house until I make sure, hey, approval's good, let's go. But this dealership was taking a shot at me. The finance manager was taking a shot at me. Now, what I know is tier 1 and 2 in that particular vehicle is the same approval. He didn't know. I don't go in and broadcast, hey, I don't want people to know that I'm Deshaun, the auto advisor. Like, that is like the last thing I want people to know when I'm getting a car. So I'm just like, okay, cool. But I have backup offers. And that's what you always have. When you're in that manipulation zone, and even with high 6, you can have a 690 score. Somebody wants to take a shot at you, they're going to take a shot at you. And how we protect that is always having backup offers. And we say, okay, well, if that's the case, then actually I'm gonna go with my second offer. Is there anything else you can do before I move on? And most times that's when they'll say, oh, okay, well, we talked to the bank, you're good, no problem. That's the way it works. And again, if I wasn't in the business, if I didn't sit in that seat, I wouldn't be able to coach you guys and give you the tools necessary. So this is why I like to see people get to the high 6s at least before you start to pursue a lease, because once, you know, that's going to qualify you for most programs. Yeah, I'm not saying you can go out and lease a Benz the first time. Usually Benz doesn't want to be your first lease, but Hondas, Toyotas, Fords, you know, most vehicles are going to be, you're going to be just fine there. So get your credit up to and if you need a car right now and you have to buy it, I'd buy an inexpensive car. I would get a very inexpensive car. If my goal was to lease, I would be looking at something on Facebook Marketplace, you know, a couple $1,000, get that car, drive it for a couple months, keep my bills down, get my credit up to close to 700 or more, because that's simple to do when you have a bankruptcy. You got literally you got a blank slate. You know, I've seen people get 1 credit card or 2 credit cards, and in less than a year, they're at a 700 score. So you could literally be setting yourself up for success in leasing a brand new vehicle in less than a year if you follow a nice plan. Okay, but if you want it all, then yay. Some people go out, hey, I don't care, credit score is, 0. I just came out the bankruptcy. Let me go get this Dodge Charger. I want the Hemi. I want I want the Hellcat. And someone will put you in the car. So it's not that, oh, Deshaun, you told me I couldn't get a car. No, I never tell you that. Someone will put you in a car. But when you come and you talk to us about that deal and you show us your paperwork, we're going to look at you and say, hey, this was a horrible mistake, horrible, that you can't get out of now. So that's why we like to prepare, come up with a plan, and then execute that plan. Okay, there are strategies. I have a whole bad credit strategy in my book. I have a bad credit plan B. So for those of you who are like, Deshaun, is there something in there for bad credit? Not only that, high mileage drivers, you guys need special strategies. You're driving over 18,000 miles. That's all in the book, Cars from Home. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox by the time you jump off this stream. It'll be in your inbox. You'll have the blueprint for everything we talk about on here. Okay, and we have a welcome offer. Normally $97. You can get your book for $24. That's 75% off, only for 30 minutes. So head to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click those links or the links in my Facebook and YouTube comments, get your 75% off. And then once you pay for your book, very important, screenshot that thank you page because the book is on there. You can literally open that, save it to your computer, and then you have a support email just in case some of you type your email wrong. You can email my support team and make sure you get your book. All right. And for those of you who want to work with us personally, you want to see if you qualify for our Done With You shopping, where we shop together and you shop among our community. We have 2,000 people in our community. We have a private Facebook group. We have a coaching call twice a month. Then you can click those same links, but you're going to click the Done With You and see if you qualify for that. All right. Let's go, Dolan. Keep it going. Rib Slab, good to see you. Daniel Ridley, what's going on? Mrs. Onassis, good to see you. Peaceful Grace, good to see you. Killer Bees, Mr. Randy, thank you. Listen, Mr. Randy, it said you just became the number 8 member on the team. I don't know what that means, but I just want to let you know that. I appreciate it. You are the number 8 member on the team. And you got a number 1 gift badge. So, I mean, I appreciate it. I've extended my Mercedes warranty with Mercedes for years 4 and 5. Will this be like the 3-year warranty? Hold on, let me read this again. I've extended my Mercedes warranty with Mercedes for years 4 and 5. Will this be like the 3-year warranty? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Could you rephrase it? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot another one up. All right, can you name good non-expensive cars to get? There's just too many. Come up with a budget, and then there's just too many cars for me to start naming inexpensive. You got to realize something. Let's all right. Here's what I give you. Let's look at what you pay for in a car. This is what's very important. All right. These are the 5 areas you pay for in a car. The more you stack these things, the more expensive your car is going to be. First thing is size. Size. The bigger the car, the more money it is. Shout out to everybody tapping the screen. If you're enjoying this, all you can do to support us, it's free. Just double tap the screen. That brings more people over here. Appreciate you. Listen, first thing is size. Never get a vehicle that is smaller than you need. This is very important. Not you want. I remember when I was at Mercedes, this story sticks out. Girl comes in, she had kids, and she needed a big truck, 3 rows. And then we ran the numbers on the big 3-row Mercedes, and she couldn't afford it. And then she said, well, what about the 2-row? And I said, wait, don't you need the 3-row with the kids? You said you needed all the room? She's like, yeah, I do. So if we would have gotten her in a 2-row vehicle, which some other people would, they would have never asked her, reminded her about her needs, and now she's driving around in a 2-row Mercedes vehicle that is too small, and she's going to eventually get out of it and lose a ton of money. So size, you don't compromise on. Next is amenities. These are your leather versus cloth. This is your sunroof. This is your navigation. This is your special features, your autonomous driving, amenities, big sunroofs. The more amenities, the more expensive. So see if it's a matter of keeping the price down, this is what you want to pay attention to. Let me get the smallest vehicle that covers my needs. Let me get the least amenities that cover my needs. Third thing is power. Power. You can have 3 vehicles in the same shell. One has a 4-cylinder turbo. One has a bi-turbo V6. One has a V8. The V8's the most expensive. You pay for power. Fourth thing you pay for is class. You can have vehicles that same size, same amenities, same power, but to go from Chevy to Acura, different class. To go from Acura to Mercedes, different class. So you're paying. So if it's a matter of keeping the numbers down, you're looking and saying, okay, what's the smallest vehicle that covers my needs, the least amount of amenities that cover my needs, the least amount of power that covers my needs, and the lowest class that covers my needs. Last thing is exclusivity. That's where you can have a very small vehicle with no amenities, but no one has it. It's very exclusive, limited production. It's going to be a ton of money. Or the opposite is true. You go with the biggest vehicle, most amenities, most power, most highest class, exclusivity, G65, G-Wagon, 65, AMG, $240,000 because it stacks everything. So that's the 5 categories of what we pay for in cars. That's where you start. Find cars that are in the smaller category and act accordingly. Okay? Man, if we could get a curriculum in school, I'd love to just get 12th grade. If I got 12th grade and we could build a curriculum for car shopping, I don't even need, give me one semester. Give me one semester. I'm sending people armed into the market that'll never get scammed. One semester is all I need. I don't need a year. Actually, the heck am I talking about? You give me give me a week with them. Give me 1 week. And that's our program. Cars from Home. Literally, when you go in, you'll see everything there. It's only probably 3 hours for each strategy. Leasing like a boss, buying a new car. It's only 3 hours of material. And you're like, wow, this is the 7 steps, all I need? I'm talking about a semester. I don't need no semester. Give me 3-4 hours. And this is what we do here. So, all right, go ahead. Keep it going, Dolan. What's up, AB Boggs? Good to see you. Kurt, good to see you. Shout out to everybody checking in. What is Shonda's at? It's Shonda Martin. Those of you who are like, what's her name that teaches the credit specialist? Shonda Martin, Martin. And you can also type in, some of her profiles are Road to 750 Plus. And follow her. Learn from her. Use her stuff. She is she is serious. She's the me of credit. And I don't say that lightly about myself. I say that in humility. It takes time to become a specialist. It took decades of me in the car business, learning and being a finance manager with Mercedes, with Ray Katina, and seeing the numbers and working with the banks and seeing negative equity. Who has negative equity? Yeah, we got to talk about that. I know there's tons of people on here with negative equity, but no one's asked a question about it yet. It takes time. So when I see Shonda, I see someone who's put the time in to learn the credit industry, the ins and outs, what works. She's taking classes, courses, and that's why I recommend her to everybody. Go ahead, Dolan. Is it wise to have a Mercedes up to 8 years old, or are they now money pits? Well, as long as you can pay cash for it. We teach something called the rule of 72 on the 10th birthday. Who's heard of it? If you've heard of it, type $signs. The rule of 72 on the 10th birthday means we do not take a loan longer than 72 months. That is the average loan in America now, and that's the cap. If you want to take an 84-month loan on a car, that's like a 40-year mortgage. And unfortunately, some dealers will talk you into taking an 84-month loan because you're not making them compete. So when you're not making them compete against their competition, what they're doing is now trying to say, all right, we want to make this much money selling you this car, and we're not going to take less than that. So instead of actually taking money off as a discount, we're going to show you a longer loan to see a lower monthly payment. And that's like, okay, here's your payment, miss. It's $6.99 a month for 72 months. Oh, well, that's too high. Okay. Instead of taking money off, they say, well, good news. If you take 84 months, your payment is now $525 a month. Oh, okay, I'll do that. You lost because they just stretched out your loan. You're going to pay more interest. and you're paying too long for a vehicle. And so that's the 72-month part. The other part is we don't take a loan. We don't want a car being paid on past its 10th birthday. When I was at Mercedes, I'd see people come out the service department, tears, not actually crying, but you could see that they were close to crying. I remember one guy, he had a blue ML, it was a GLE, might have been an ML. And he said the ML, the GLE used to be the ML. And he said, man, I just did brakes and tires on the truck. I did my service. And they were telling me if something broken on the truck that I need to fix. So the tires and brakes alone was like, I want to say like $3 to $4 grand, if I remember. Then the service itself was probably another 500. And then what they were telling him he needed to fix was like 2,000. Now, some of you might say, well, that's horrible. That's like $6,000 on a vehicle. If it's paid off, then that's okay, because I'm just going to put the money in, service the vehicle, and keep it for another 2, 3, 4 years. But if you have a payment, this is what I call the 4 expenses. Payment, insurance, gas, maintenance. I didn't used to add gas. Now we add gas. Depends on where the gas prices is, gas goes in there. Because literally for some of these vehicles, gas is $200-300 a month. So, but when something breaks, that is what had people coming out in tears, because I remember we would be in here and you just hear boom. We're in the showroom, boom. And at first I didn't know what it was. But then, Reggie, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't know what it was, but the more I worked in the dealerships, we got to know what it was. That's an auto ride or air ride suspension going out. You ever see a vehicle and it's like on the ground or it's leaning like this? That's the air ride suspension. Boom, goes out. That's $5 grand. That's $5 grand. So people will come out in tears because they're like, yo, I just made my car payment and I got my insurance. See, you have to be ready for an import car or a luxury car. And a luxury car is for people who have big money. If you have the money, that means you can pay off the vehicle, which means when something goes wrong, all right, I got the cash. All I need to make sure I do is get a quality car that has a great service history and I pay a great price for it, but I can afford it. The people who are on the borderline, not able to afford these cars, you're taking loans that are too long. And when something breaks on these cars, you still have a car payment. And that's where you usually let the car go. Because now you have a car you're paying on every month you can't even drive it. This is what we call the repo recipe. Okay. So that's the philosophy on, shout out to everybody. I see you smoking with Matrix. Thank you so much. That's the philosophy on the boundaries. See, my job, besides giving you guys the strategies to pay the best prices on cars, is we have to have boundaries with the second most expensive purchase of our life, just like we have boundaries when we go buy a house. Does that make sense? Type $ if that makes perfect sense to some of you. There needs to be boundaries, things we don't cross. You know, if we don't have boundaries with houses, we say, hey, how much is that house? $600,000. Oh man, I can't afford that. Man, but hey, if you take a 50-year mortgage, here's the payment. Oh man, that's affordable. Okay, all right, let's do that. If you don't have boundaries, how many of you know you're going to take the 50-year mortgage? But most of us know we don't take a loan or a mortgage longer than 30. Because the car market hasn't been regulated, we have to create those boundaries for ourselves, and we make sure we don't cross them. Or at least if we cross them, we need to know we're crossing them. Okay? I see you, Gabriel. I see you, Reggie. I see you, Mr. Randy. Shout out to the tapped in people. All right, go ahead. Let's keep it going. We got a couple more minutes. Let's go. For those of you who are like Deshaun, I want everything you teach in one spot. That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. And we are about results. That is a 7-step system to below market used car deals, below market leases, below market new car deals. And it's going to guide you every step of the way. The first step is the most important question. Step 7 is delivery. So by the time you get to step 7, you are setting up your delivery or your pickup of your vehicle. And that is what it is. We have a welcome offer. The book's normally $97 and it's worth every penny. But for those of you who want who you can get to my bio, we have a welcome offer of 75% off. That's $24 in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. Click that link, activate your 75% off, and your book will be in your inbox by the time you hop off the stream. All right. Also, for those of you who would rather work together, you see some of the people that we share here, and you see some of their stories. I got to read some of these. Before we get off, I got to read it because we got a bunch of new people that have sent me pictures, and we got, a bunch of people that got cars in the last, month. So we got to, we'll go over this. But these are the things that, for those of you who are like, hey, this private Facebook group, that's our done with you. You don't, that's our done with you. The book is for people who do it yourself. I have A to Z in there. Deshaun, give me the strategy. I will execute it. That is the book, Cars from Home. For those of you who want community and you want support, we do 2 coaching calls a month, and you want to be in our Facebook group where you could ask questions. You want to click those links and click done with you. Shop with Deshaun. And you do have to see if you qualify for that. But if you qualify, then we'll be shopping together. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. All right. It's already up. Nobody's giving away autos like the internet says they are. I don't care. I'm not the internet. Look, these are deals. Look, 2025 Yukon, they dropped the pricing down to about 70. BMW sold it to Carvana. Hold on. Look, original MSRP. Wait, hold on. We already talked about Jen. This is a 1.1% lease on a Nissan Murano Platinum 585, $50,000 vehicle. That's tons of discounts. I know when I got my Infiniti when I got it in November, I got $8,000 off. We could go Milligan. Look, Milligan, $79,000 Mercedes EQE 350. Look, 2024, $79,000. Look at the discount, $20,300 off with all the rebates and the discounts. Unfortunately, you just don't know how to shop. And if you can see that, you shouldn't know how. You're the public. You are the public trying to do battle with an industry. I'm somebody who I'm in the industry. And people call me all around Jersey. People know me before anybody on the internet ever knew me. People in Jersey knew me. Call Deshaun, family members, friends. They still call me and say, "Hey, Deshaun, I know you're teaching and all of that. I know you got the book, but hey, you're the person I call." We accept nothing less than big discounts and below market deals. So it's just what you know. It's just, if you had a leak in your bathroom, it might seem like, oh God, there's water everywhere. I don't know what to do. No one in my house can fix this. You call in an expert and hey, 3 minutes. Heck, man, how'd you fix that so quick? I'm an expert and I can teach you. So in our case, we teach. That's why I love sharing other people. Every one of you might probably say, Deshaun, obviously you can get great car deals. You've been in the car business. The reason why I show people like Milligan and people like Raphael, look, $46,000 vehicle, $549 a month lease. Probably got 8-10 grand off to get to that payment because they're you. They were just like you, watching me, said, hey, this guy sounds like I could trust him. I'm going to give this a shot. And they did the work. They learned the system. Look, India, 2024 Hyundai Elantra Limited, $29,000 vehicle, $365 a month, no money down. These are huge discounts to get to these payments. Whether you're buying or leasing, you cannot get to a great payment on a lease without big discounts. And why is it so easy? Because we employ competition. It's simple. You're used to negotiating with one dealer, maybe two. NADA told us that. NADA told us as car salesmen, these are the statistics, car salesmen, just so you know, your average customer is only going to shop 2 dealers. That's all they know how to shop. After that, they're going to get tired. They're going to make a decision. So we use that information accordingly. We shop 25 dealers from home. Shop, what? That sounds crazy. Everyone who you've seen who are getting a new car using our system has shopped 25 dealers from home. Why is it simple? Because I have the email scripts. It's copying and pasting. When we get used cars, we're always doing all our work on the marketplaces, and we're employing competition, and we're looking at the whole market and turning the whole market into one big competition for us. That's the difference. It's a whole different world. I love for you to come to this world. And that's what you hear. When you hear people say, oh, there's no deals out there, it's no deals for you. Unfortunately, it's no deals for you. But when you come to our world, it's a different world. Deals everywhere. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. What's up, Leon Pollard? Good to see you. Kenzie Lee on the check-in. Kate V. Bond, good to see you. Kate Von B. What's going on? Thank you for y'all running up the likes on TikTok. I appreciate y'all. If you spend time with us, every couple minutes, you just like, man, this is good. That was good. Tap that screen. Just do. Some of you just sit there for 30 seconds like, man, that was a good answer. Let me just tap this screen and run these likes up and bring some more people over here. All right, for a new EV, would you lease or buy? This is a very simple question, guys. We have a rule about leasing. It's called the 8-year rule. In my book, in everything I teach, you hear me talk about the most important question. This is it. How many years are you going to keep the next car? If it's not 8, definitely not, oh, I might keep it 8. It needs to be 8 or more. Then you purchase. Because the depreciation is going to eat you alive. It's going to eat you alive in the short term. You buy a car, and cash buyers, you know this better than anyone. Because you're not, unfortunately, payment buyers, they manipulate the payment and you don't really see what you're paying. Unless you're really savvy and you just ask for the price of the car and then you match the payments yourself to see. But most people, they're not. They go in, give me the $500 a month, we got a deal. That is a recipe for a big commission because these things can be manipulated. So in the short term of a purchase, the depreciation is going to ruin you. You buy a car for 40, you come back, it's worth it. Let's just take, since you asked the question about the electric vehicles, let's just take the example of what we've experienced in the last 6 months. The value of electric vehicles have fallen through the ground. It's literally people were buying electric vehicles for $60,000 and then in a couple, literally 2 years later, they were worth 30. Horrible depreciation. How could we have avoided this? Shopping for a below market lease. Short term, I'm not going to worry about the depreciation because I'm going to shop my offers. I'm going to get the lowest price on the lease. We always get at least 5 offers. Our system teaches you how to do that. You need to get at least 5 offers, whether you do it my way or your way. If you want to call around, talk to enough dealerships, you could ask for the sales manager and try to cut through the BS and get 5 offers. You're going to see how different they are. You're going to see how different the offers are. And once you see how different the offers are, it's going to prove to you, this is why I need to be shopping multiple offers. So once you do that, you get your 5 offers and you'll see that's my lease deal. That's going to be my below market lease. If I'm purchasing though, I'm planning on keeping this vehicle for the long run, long haul, 8 or more years. And I'm not worried about depreciation. Who has a vehicle they've had for at least 8 years? Type me. Matter of fact, how many years have you had it? Let us know. Let's get engaged, chat. Get engaged. C. Parker, hello. Hey, great car buying advice. Guess what? You can teach your info to older students in schools. Listen, I love to. Who has a car? Let us know how many years you've had the car outside. If you've had a car longer than 8 years, type the number of years that you've had that car. We're seeing people keep cars less and less. So, I mean, I don't even know if there's many people on here who've kept a car longer than 8 years. All right, I see one user 608987. I can't see my Instagram people. I'm sorry. Tomorrow I'm gonna have my device set up where I can see my Instagram. We bring your questions on, but okay, Paulie, I have a 2013 ES. Okay, this is the stuff where you don't have to worry about the depreciation. The longer you keep a car, the less you're concerned with the depreciation of it because you've gotten your money out of it. But when I was in the dealership, I can't tell you how many times, and some of you're guilty of this. I'm trying to get you out of this right now. I would be in the dealership, somebody walks by and they're like, hey, is that the brand new one? They're looking at something that's on the showroom. I'm like, yeah, that's the 2020, whatever. They're like, okay, soon as I listen, I got 3 more payments on this one. Soon as I make my last payment, I'll come see you for that one. That is 2 things wrong there. First of all, they thought they had to keep the car. They thought they had to pay the car off in order to get another car. If you thought that, you don't have to. They thought, oh, I got to have the title. You don't have to. So if you didn't know that type of question mark, if you were taught, I thought I had to have the title, Deshaun, before I could replace the vehicle type of question mark, if that's what you were taught. It doesn't, so that's the first thing wrong. The second thing and the bigger thing is you just paid an entire vehicle off, which is like a marathon. We call it, it's like a marathon. Hey, I'm gonna take a 5 or 6 year loan on this car, and then I'm gonna make these payments, and then I'm gonna pay it off. And I get my title. And then when I start this is where you should be looking and saying, hey, now it's time to get my money's worth out of this car. Now it's time to make sure that I got a car outside. That thing is paid off. Hold on. I'm still trying to get on Instagram. That thing is paid off. And I'm gonna keep that thing in the driveway 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Maybe I'll pass it down to my kids or have it be a this or that. This is that time. But what's happening? We go and replace the vehicle, and we start a whole nother marathon. We start an entirely different marathon. That's what we're doing when we buy these cars that we are not keeping. We're not keeping them long enough to even pay them off, which means you always are going to have negative equity unless you're just making big down payments. So you're not even keeping them long enough to pay them off. Second, some of you are pay them off and then you go and you replace it again and get a whole nother vehicle. And then the third of you is, buying and doing it right, which is I'm paying my car off and I'm keeping this thing until the wheels fall off, or at least until I know I got my money out of this 8, 10, 12 years. So if you're not there, Deshaun, I'm nowhere near interested in keeping a car that long. You should be shopping for a below market lease. And that's what should have been being taught to you from the day you learned about cars. But because they taught you wrong, and because there's people out here with big platforms and influence that tell you never lease cars, now you're hearing conflicting messages, especially because these people claim to be offering good financial advice. So it's like, wow, I can't go against them. Meanwhile, if they don't know what they're speaking about concerning cars. Investing in stocks, God bless them, may do a great job. Car advice, they're costing you thousands and thousands of dollars. So the question is, how many years do I keep my next car? If the answer is less than 8, I'm shopping for a below market lease. Not a regular lease, not a lease I see on commercials. Come in and lease this vehicle for $429 a month. And nobody who's listening to us is paying those prices. I'm shopping for a below market lease, getting multiple offers, and that's what I'm going to do. If I'm keeping it more than 8, then I'll shop for a purchase, new car, used car, below market purchase. Okay? Simple rule. And that's step 1 of our process. We call it the most important question. If you buy a car but you should have leased, you lost money. You lost thousands of dollars, probably 10 grand, 7 to 10 grand. The more expensive of the vehicle, the more you lost. If you bought a big BMW and you bought it but you should have leased it, you probably lost 15, 20 grand. just in your structure. Your structure is incorrect. So let's go. Great question. All right, go ahead. I see we got a lot more coming in though. Let's see. Let me try to zip through these. By the way, all of you who are like Deshaun, I need everything you teach in one spot. That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. It's 5-star rated. You can Google it. It's everything we teach in one place, step by step. You can get to. We have a welcome offer, 75% off. It's normally $97. But if you get to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, and the YouTube comments, click that link. That'll activate your 75% off only for 30 minutes. And you can get your book for $24. It'll be in your inbox in 3 to 5 minutes. All right. And you'll have the blueprint. For those of you who want to work with us and shop directly and get coaching and be in our community, we do coaching calls twice a month. And instead of reading, you want videos, you can click that button that says Shop with Deshaun. See if you qualify for that. And either way, that's our way of making sure that you have no excuse on not having access to affordable information to make sure you pay less than everyone else for cars. If the lease has 5K less miles than the terms, will they credit me the difference? No, but you want to do an equity assessment. This is step 2. We just went over step 1, leasing versus buying, most important question. Step 2 is equity assessment. We need to see, can we sell this lease, break even, or make money? What you want to do is call the bank. Do not go to a dealership for this. Call the bank and ask them, what is my payoff? Once they tell you your payoff, you want to write this down. Write down what I'm about to tell you. You're going to go to these 6 websites: CarMax, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Do not use the KBB. You quick put in your year, make, model. It says your car is worth $30,000. Do not use that garbage. You're going to go to Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Driveway, Car Gurus, Sell My Car, and Auto Nation, Sell My Car. Those are 6 websites. We get these offers. It'll take about 20 minutes. When they ask you, is the vehicle a lease, a purchase, or owned, put owned. And then you want to see, what is the market value of my vehicle? What are those offers? And what is my payoff? Can I break even, or can I make a little money selling this? A couple years ago, we had people making lots of money when cars were worth $7,000 to $12,000 more, but there's still people who are selling their leases, getting $1,500, $2,500, $3,000. Not always, it's no guarantee, but we never return a lease without checking for equity. Because if there's $2,000 there, the dealer is going to keep it and it's theirs. So this is our look like they have a lease-in process that they want you to do as a customer. You can call for an inspection. That's their lease-in process. In Cars from Home, we have a lease-in process. It's called an equity assessment. So you want to see, yes, I'm below my miles. Is there a way that I can potentially pick up some money? Now, there's 2 types of equity assessments. There's a third-party restricted equity assessment, and there's a non-third-party restricted. It depends on who the lease is with. If the lease is with a company that doesn't have a third-party restriction, then you can just sell it direct to the highest bidder. If there's a lease that has a third-party restriction, then what we're going to do is there's an extra step involved, because we're not going to sell to those companies. We're going to sell to a local dealer. But we're using those 6 offers to evaluate if we even have equity. If you run those offers and you're like, hey, it looks like I got $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 of equity, but I have a third-party restriction, then we're going to call a local dealer. I have a script in my book. I'll walk you through who to talk to in a dealership, how to talk to the used car manager. You're going to get your 3 to 5 offers, and you sell to the dealership to get your equity. So either way, we get our equity if we have it. But we do not return a lease without ever doing an equity assessment. Go ahead, Dolan. This is good. If you're getting value out of this, type $signs. Let me know, chat. You're getting value out of what we're doing. I can't listen, Dolan. I can't get to. I'm trying to log in. It's not showing me as live on Instagram. I don't know why. I was trying to come in from a viewer perspective and see. Normally Instagram, I'd be shouting you guys out a lot more. but I cannot. I'm just having trouble getting to you. So on the next stream, we'll make sure you're here. But you know, you guys can see if you type your questions, we bring them in. Shopping for a lease deal on a BMW X3 or Audi Q5. Credit score is 750. What's a good lease deal? We don't know. What you want to do when you estimate, first thing we do to even see if is this a vehicle we should even be looking at, is you take the MSRP and we base a great deal. There's three types of leases: a steal, a great deal, and then it's time to chill. That's actually the verbiage that I use. Time to chill means, look, I like the vehicle, but next. Because what you have to understand about leasing, our system is going to make sure you find the dealer who is going to give you the biggest discount, because it's a numbers game. We have a system we call 25 to 5 for new cars and leases. We're going to connect with 25 dealers online from our house. Every car I get, I'm sitting right here, including the last one. Every car I get is from my living room or from my home office. So we're connecting with 25 dealers online to get at least 5 offers. We pick the best one. And then I have a calculator in my book and in our course where we put the offers in, and it tells you what to counter offer, because we never want to accept a deal without a counter offer. Now, once that's done, we know what the best deal is on that car. It's not going to be the same as the BMW. It's not going to be the same as the last vehicle or the Chevy. Every single vehicle has a different lease program. This is very important to understand. You cannot control the lease program. What is the lease program? The money factor, which is the interest rate from the bank, because you cannot use your own bank on the lease. The interest rate is let's stay on the interest rate. Dealers, the worst dealers, mark up the interest rate because you can't shop for it on your own. So they're going to do something we call padding the interest rate. Thanks for sharing, Jacqueline. I appreciate you. Shout out to the sharers. They're padding the interest rate. So they're going to leave themselves some negotiating room there. Then you have the residual value, and then you have any incentives, any rebates. Those three things make up a lease program, and we have no control over any of those things. Some are much more aggressive based on the fact the manufacturer wants to move the car. They'll put some big rebates on it. They'll put some different incentives on it. The interest rate is going to be low. And some manufacturers have certain cars where they're not going to do that. They might say, okay, for the Range Rover Autobiography, we are not going to do any incentives at all, whatever. That's the lease program. Again, nothing to do with the dealer who's going to be discounting the vehicle. Our system is to find the dealer who's going to say, all right, this is my offer. And you look and they're like taking off a big amount of money compared to the other offers. That's why my two favorite words are multiple offers. That's how we guarantee we never have buyer's remorse. And that's how we guarantee we paid the lowest amount. So once you now see that there's no way I can control the lease program, now we understand that when let's go back to the three types of lease deals. A steal is a 1% lease. A 1% lease is, you look at a $40,000 vehicle, when you get your offers, it's $400 a month or less, no money down. The payment that we get is 1% of the total MSRP or less. I just got one on my Infinity truck, $54,000. It was $499 with $1,200 out of pocket. Probably would have been, with first payment out of pocket. We always shop with first payment. We have templates for this, so you don't even have to worry about putting this together unless you want to do it on your own. Do it your way. That's fine. You can try to remember this. But in my book, and when we're shopping together, we have templates. You copy and paste this stuff so you don't have to remember this. But the 1% lease is 1% of MSRP. I would say my lease on that Infinity truck would have been, it's $499. It probably would have been about $512, $515 maybe. And it's a $54,000 truck. So it's less than 1% of the MSRP. That's what we call a steal. But you need a great lease program to get a steal. It's not just the fact the dealer took off $8,000. He would have took off $8,000 just by us, using our shopping system. But if he had a bad lease program, then it wouldn't have been $499. It would have been $690. Lease program is bad. So we don't know what these are going to be until we shop for them. Now, we do have the 1.5% rule. It's very important because many people, when I first started talking about leasing, I knew people were going to go out there, not learn about how to get great leases. They were just going to go into dealerships and say, hey, I want a lease. I saw this guy on, Instagram or TikTok. He told me I shouldn't be buying cars anymore. Man, show me what a lease looks like. And you're going to get an overpriced lease because you don't know how to shop for them. So now, person shows you a lease, you're like, okay, well, look, that sounds better than, if I was to buy it. I'll take it. So then we created the 1.5% rule. So you would know if your payment with no money out of pocket is more than 1.5% of the MSRP, you've now overpaid for the lease. It doesn't make sense to lease the vehicle. And that does not mean you go into a dealership, hey, get me under 1.5, because then you're going to lose. You're going to lose. See, I want to use a real case of how I remember Zafrina. Zafrina was shopping for a, where's her deal? Here it is. Zafrina was shopping for a Jeep Grand Cherokee 2024, and she's in our program, and she asked me, she said, Deshaun, I'm shopping for the gas vehicle. Best offer I got was like 1.19. I'm like, it's a great offer. But she was coming out of a Jeep that she had already had, and it was under 1%. So she was like, I really like to see the 1%, but she's like, I can't get it. But she said, the dealer said to me, if I took this other version, which is an electric version, that I could get it to 1%. And then I said, well, if you're going to change vehicle, you now need to run the process for that vehicle to see what the best offer is. Don't let that dealer flip you from a regular one to an electric and then tell you, well, I'll get you to the 1%. No, run the offers now and see what the below market price is on the electric. She did it. It didn't take her more than a day. She hit me back in our group and she said, look, I picked this up, end up getting a 0.88% lease. $579 a month, $66,000 vehicle. That is why we never go in telling people, hey, get me to 1%, get me to 1.2, get me to 1.5. No, that is the way to overpay. We sit at home, we get our offers, we work the system, and then we let the best deal reveal itself. When Milligan saved, look, I'm going to go back to Milligan. She got $27,000 off her Mercedes here. You guys can't see this on TikTok, but if you ever watch the replays on YouTube or on Facebook, you'll see $20,000 is a $79,000 vehicle. She got $20,300 off from home using the Cars from Home system. She didn't know she was going to save $20,000. That's the thing. We get the questions a lot. How much should I look to save off this vehicle? We never know. We do the process. We take 2-3 days. We work the market, use our scripts, use our templates, and then we see what is the best deal on this vehicle. That's how everyone does it. That's how Kimberly did it to get $20,000 off her Maserati. You guys can see here, she bought a Maserati, got $20,000 off of it, brand new. I'm just taking the biggest discounts because I want you guys to know, Sean, when he got his F-150 Lightning, he saved over $20,000. But they didn't go in saying, I know I'm going to save $20,000. They didn't go in saying, oh, man, they just worked the process, budgeted for their vehicle, and when they saw, oh, shoot, I saved $20,000 off this thing, and it was just a pleasant surprise. You look at somebody like Tiffany. Tiffany got $6,500 off her Mazda. Where's Tiffany? She got $6,500 off her Mazda, 2024 CX-90. That was the below market deal for her. But she shopped the offer. She saw some dealers not discounting, some dealers taking off 2,000, some dealers taking off 3, 4, and then the winning dealer took off 65. That's the below market deal. That is the process. So there's no push button solution. There's no magic formula other than we work our process, our cars from home system. We let the market submit offers. We pick the below market offer if it's in our budget. That's it. And that number is going to vary based on the vehicle, based on the programs. All right. Listen, everything that we've been going over, including questions that we didn't get to, it's a lot of questions that no one asked. You didn't ask about negative equity. You didn't ask about high mileage driving. You didn't ask about getting loans. We have a system called the bank bidding war to make banks and credit unions bid for our rate. So everything that we've discussed and things that no one asked yet is in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get a copy as part of our welcome offer. It's normally $97. You can get a copy for 75% off for 30 minutes, $24. Get to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. We got a link there for you. And as long as you get there before 30 minutes, you got a copy for $24. It's everything we teach step by step to below market deals. That's the do-it-yourself master blueprint. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're an introvert, if you are, soft-spoken person, timid person. This is perfect because we don't talk. I'm never teaching you to go in and talk and negotiate with people who negotiate 3 times a day for a living. You can win by sitting at home and making these people compete for your business. That's our system. So get your copy for 75% off. You'll have everything we teach. Now, those of you who want to do it, Deshaun, can we shop together? We have a done with you program. You can go to those same links in the bios and in the comments, and you'll see a link that says shop with Deshaun. See if you qualify, and then we'll walk you through the entire process through video form. We have our Facebook community where you can ask questions and get support, and you're in a community with 1,600 people in our Facebook group alone, and we do coaching calls twice a month. So get in where you fit in. Does not matter. Just make sure you are using what we are talking about, because corporate greed is out of control. No one cares when you overpay for a car but you and your family. No one cares. The dealer doesn't care. The government doesn't care. There's no lawyer who's going to say, oh, man, wow, you paid how much? Man, I'm going to help you get that money back. Nobody cares. So we make sure we arm ourselves with the right information so that we make sure when we shake our hand and drive off in that new car, we guarantee we didn't leave any money on the table. That's what I want for you. So God bless you. I will check back in soon. We'll be, see you on another stream, and keep unlearning and relearning.